Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing good. My name is Jonathan and I'm from Singapore, and today let's talk about this new rig for the Sony A7R Mark III and the A7III Sony cameras. Let's go. But before that, I just want to say that UURig or Ulenzi, the parent company, did not send me this. I bought it with my own money and this is going to be an honest review. Alright, let's move on to the review. This cage has the model number R063 and it is a new and upgraded version of its previous model, the C/A7III. I'm assuming that they released this cage to rival the new small rig cages that has also recently came out. Alright, now let's see what's inside the package when you purchase the cage. Let's go. Alright, so the entire box is made out of cardboard, simply cardboard, and inside the box, these are the items that will be included. First off, you have the cage itself that comes with a bubble wrap. I'm glad to know that it is somewhat protected. Next off, we have an Allen key. This is required to mount the camera, which I will show it to you later. And lastly, you have stickers as well, stickers that you don't really need. Alright, so now let's move on to the cage itself. The cage has an overall rounder and smaller design when compared to the previous model. As you can see, the corners of this new rig is a lot more curved when compared to sharper corners on its predecessor. In terms of dimensions, the cage is also smaller but roughly weighs the same as the previous cage. This makes it a lot easier when you're packing it into your bag and when you're carrying it around as well. Right, moving along, this cage has two cold shoe mounts, one at the top right and another on the left side. This is really helpful when you are thinking about mounting camera accessories such as small monitor, small light, a microphone as well. And considering the fact that the previous model has only one cold shoe mount, this is an interesting change. However, although it has more cold shoe mounts on this cage when compared to the previous version, it only has one airy locating hole at the top, while there were two airy locating holes on the previous model. With that being said, you're still able to mount an accessory with airy locating pins such as the top handle. Alright, so other than the airy locating pin at the top, the rest of the holes are a 1/4 inch threaded screw holes. For example, you can mount this stand. You can also put a tripod mount on the bottom of the cage, and personally for me, I'll be screwing in my Peak Design capture clip mount. Furthermore, there's a slider that UURig has called, and that is basically an Arca Swiss slot at the bottom of the cage. This allows you to mount the cage on a tripod with the Arca Swiss quick release plate. If you're not using the Arca Swiss quick release plate, there are multiple 1/4 inch threaded screw holes for you to utilize. Also, there are two grooves for wrist straps and another one for a shoulder strap. However, I think you can use them interchangeably. Personally, for me, I will be using the Peak Design anchor connectors, one on each side of the cage, so that I can use their products such as their strap. Most importantly, the accessibility of the battery as well as the SD card. When the camera is mounted on this cage, I can access the battery and SD card no problem. It has no obstructions whatsoever. I think camera cages has come a long way, and this is expected throughout all range of camera cages. Going back to the bottom of the cage, there's a hidden wrench for you to screw in your camera that is also magnetically stuck to the cage. And I would say it's a pretty strong connection actually, but then again, there is a chance of you losing it, so make sure you have your eye on it. Other than that, I think the last features would be the anti-slipping pads, right? This prevents your camera from shaking further when it is already mounted in the cage. Alright, so now with all the main features explained, let's just mount the camera onto the cage. Let's go. Alright, so to mount the camera on the cage, firstly you need to take the Allen screw that came with the product, use it to remove the small screw on the right side of the cage. Once it is removed, carefully place, because you don't want to scratch your camera, carefully place the A7III or the A7R III into the cage. And once you find the fit, screw it in with the hidden wrench that came with it and make sure that it is threading. Now for the small screw, you can screw it back in if you want to. If not, you can just not screw it in. So right now, let's install lens. Let's go. Right now, you're left with this setup, and honestly, it's amazing. The good thing about this cage is if you want to reach all the dials or the controls, you are able to do so naturally. In addition, when I'm holding the camera, it feels very natural in the palm. I think this is one thing that I really like about this cage. This cage is designed in a way that there's a groove here, that when you hold the camera like that and when your palm is resting on the cage, it feels very natural. it just fits into place. So with that being said, I know that there are so many more fun and exciting ways to be using this cage. And with countless accessories on the market right now to be modifying the cinema rig, your cinema rig, let me know if you want me to try any specific accessories. So I'm very excited to start building my cinema rig. And yes, that is the plan, is to make the Sony A7III, which is the camera that I'm shooting on right now, into a cinema kind of rig. Alright, so with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it entertaining, if you found it informative, do give it a like and subscribe if you want to see similar content like this. Once again, this is Jonathan, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.